Today is the 20th day of Menachem Av, which is the yahrzeit of the Rebbe's father, Reb Levi Yitzchak Schneerson, fondly known as Reb Levik. He was the chief rabbi of the Dnepropetrovsk, and for his very strong Jewish activity during the height of the Soviet Union, he was put on trial and he was exiled. He was exiled for many years, for 5 years, to the remote city in Kazakhstan, which was infested with mosquitoes, malaria, very, very difficult, to put it mildly, very difficult conditions. And he passed away while in exile, before his time, the very difficult circumstances there. The most difficult part of his exile was not as much as the humidity and the malaria and everything else that was there, but what was most difficult for him was that he was separated from his community, separated from the Jewish community. There was hardly any Jews there, and there was no means for anything. And the most important thing for him was his life was teaching Torah. And his very, very deep and profound insights in Torah. He didn't even have paper what to write on while he was in exile. His Rebbetzin Chana, the Rebbe's mother, who came along with him while he was exiled, she would go out and produce ink for him from herbs that she would cook up, and he would thereby have some kind of ink to write on, and he would write on the margin of some of the few books that he had with. He had a Zohar, Tanya, and he wrote on the margins, and today they were saved from that environment. They were brought back to New York, and the Rebbe treasured them, and he shared insights. The Rebbe would share deep insights into the cryptic teachings that were so carefully and cryptically written on the margin, because it was such a small area. He had to write them in a very cryptic manner. And the Rebbe deciphered these and would elaborate upon them. One of the teachings I'd like to share from Reb Levik is on the verse of Shema Yisrael. The manner in which Rabbi Levik would teach, and he would write and he would expound upon, was very, very unique. He would blend together Talmud, Kabbalah, Gematria, numerical values, all intertwined together. He would bring out the oneness within the profundity and the oneness of the entire Torah. So in the Shema Yisrael, it's a meditation. We put our hands over our eyes and we reflect upon the oneness of God. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Listen, Israel. God is our God, and God is one. Why do we have to repeat Hashem, Elokeinu, Hashem? Why can't we just say, listen, Israel, God is one. So yes, there is Hashem Elokeinu. He's our personal. He's also personal. But why Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem? Why 3 times? Why could it just be Shema Yisrael, Hashem Echad? There's one God, the oneness of God. There's a statement that we make in our prayers, in our prayer books on page 17, the middle paragraph, and there it says, Emes, true, truly, Atahu Rishon, V'yatahu Acharon, Umbalo Decha Ein Elokim. You are the first, you are the last, and beside you there is no God. There's nothing. There's no God. What do you mean you're the first, you're the last, and beside you there's nothing? What is truth? Truth is something which is everlasting. You can have things which are true, but they're not everlasting. So, for example, a price. The price tag on something. Is that the true price? Yes, it is the true price.
Until they mark it down.
Until they mark it down or until it increases. So it's the true price as of now. What do you mean as of now? That's all very relative. In the stock market, it's the price within the millisecond. It fluctuates every second, every half a second. In the grocery store, I know the price today, tomorrow can go up. Some things have a longer set price, but it's not everlasting. Therefore, is it the true price? It's the true price for now, but it's not everlasting. What is truly true? Something that's everlasting. The Hebrew word for truth is emet. Emes. So we begin this verse, emes, emet. You are the first, which means God existed before creation. God exists at the very end. God, and there's nothing else in between. God is true, the ultimate truth. The word for truth is emes. The word emes is made up of 3 letters: Aleph, Mem, Taf. Aleph is the very first letter of the Aleph Beis. Taf is the very last letter of the Aleph Beis. And Mem is the very middle of the Aleph Beis. So it's beginning, middle, and end. Emes is not only true in the word itself. Every way we slice the word emes, it's true. It's everlasting. In the sequence of the Aleph Beis, it's true. Beginning, middle, and end. The Aleph Beis itself is true. There are a total of 27 letters of the Aleph Beis. 22 main letters and then 5 final letters, making 27 letters. 2 plus 7 is 9. 9 is considered a true number. Why is that a true number? Because many times you multiply 9, you get 9. 2 times 9 is 18. 1 plus 8 is 9. 3 times 9 is 27. 2 plus 7 is 9. 3 times 9 is 54. 5 plus 4 is 9.
It was 6 times 9.
I'm sorry?
It was 6 times 9.
I'm sorry, 6 times 54. 3 times 9, 3 times
20, 27,
27,
36,
37, you have 30.
We get the point.
40.
Yeah, 36. All it's 9. You all have 9. Ad infinitum. You can multiply any number you want. And then if you multiply, if you add those numbers together, you end up getting 9. 400, the word emes also is not only the beginning, middle, and end of the alphabet, which are 27 letters, 2 plus 7 is 9, but the word emes has the numerical value of 441, which adds up to 9. Emes, the Talmud says, truth is the seal, is the signet ring, is the seal of God. It's God's signature. truth, everlasting.
Emes Malkano.
Exact. Emes Malkeinu. True is our king, which means everlasting, the only real truth. Now, back to the Shema. Hashem Elokeinu Hashem. The reason why it's 3 times, it's a reference to you are the first, you are the last, and everything in between is you, God. Now, if we take the letters, the first letters of each one of Hashem's names, which are in the Shema, I'm getting deeper now. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. The first letter of Hashem's name is Yud. Elokeinu is Aleph. And then again, Hashem begins with the Yud. The numerical value of all 3 together is 21. Well, that doesn't get you 9. But it is the same numerical value of God's name that he used to reveal himself to Moses at the burning bush. Moses asked, if they ask me, what is your name? What should I tell them? So he responds, God responds, Eke asher eke. I will be that I will be. I will be that I will be. That means you don't just take Eke, which is 21. I will be that I will be. You have 21 times 21. 21 times 21
41.
is
441.
441. And that's Emes. So within the Shema Yisrael, you have the oneness, Hashem Echad. The true oneness of God is one that is not only, there is one God and no other gods. Not only is Hashem Echad the oneness of God, that everything in existence is a manifestation of God. But God is the only everlasting, is the only truth. Throughout life, that's what we yearn for. We look for truth. We search for truth. Science is on a quest to find truth. Justice is about truth. What drives life is truth. Finding truth. And the ultimate truth, the essential truth, is Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem Echad. The oneness of God that's everlasting. And that is deep within the Shema, not only in understanding and numerical value, but it's deep, deep within it. And this is what Reb Leivik was able to reveal. No matter what the circumstances are, we don't change based on circumstances. Truth is that we're able to withstand circumstances. We're able to withstand trials and tribulations. That is truth. And that's the ability, that's the incredible and the most empowering teaching that we have. That our core, our very essence is bound with that truth. So instead of changing based upon circumstances, that circumstances change us, is the other way around. The greatest characters and empowering individuals are individuals that are able, and most inspiring people are those that have such a strong core that they're able to withstand circumstances and challenges, and they remain in control. And this Reb Leivik taught not only in teaching, but he taught that in his life by example. They challenged Reb Leivik. one of the reasons he was ultimately imprisoned is that he would stand up. He stood up to the Soviet regime. They wanted to manipulate leaders and others, especially leaders, wanting to remain in control. And Reb Leivik was someone who could not be manipulated in any way, shape, or form. One of the stories that Rebbe once shared was about matzah on Pesach. Reb Leivik was the chief rabbi of the town, so they had to have his approval on matzah that it was kosher for Passover. And so the Soviets insisted that they purchase wheat at a certain plant somewhere. And Reb Leivik said, if that's the case, that I have to send my supervisors to make sure that it is properly supervised for kosher for Passover. Because you don't have to. There are other rabbis who will supervise it. Reb Leivik figured those were rabbis that were manipulated by the Soviet regime. Because no, if I have my seal on this matzah, it has to be according to my standards. And he stood his ground. He refused to put his name on it, that it was kosher for Passover, unless he was given the rights to send his own supervisors. Ultimately, that cost him. That cost him to be exiled. He was not someone who could be manipulated. He was a man of truth. And even when he was sent away to exile, he didn't allow the circumstances to change him. He remained true to who he was, and even wrote his own insights that ultimately was saved for posterity, that we have till today. And the greatest gift that we have today are really the teachings of the Rebbe. Educating a son, educating a child like the Rebbe, with those same values, the same insights, and the same character. We have incredible teachings and role models for our life today. The Rebbe would often sing Reb Leivik's joyous niggin of Simchas Torah. Whenever the Rebbe would say Freiliche niggin, he would often refer to the Freiliche niggin, the joyous niggin of the Reb Leivik, that he would sing on Simchas Torah, which is Reb Leivik's niggin. So we'll end off with that today. Te yarada yarada hey, yarada yarada hey, yarada yarada hey, yarada yarada ya 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 ya. Ay 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 ay. Ay ha ya 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 hey ya ya hey ya ya hey ya 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 ay 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 ay. Have a wonderful, wonderful day.
Thank you.